Pro athletes tend to be quite superstitious in-game and off the pitch. Hockey requires full concentration, pace, and power. Are goalies the most superstitious athletes? Why is that the case? Keep watching to find out. When a hockey team is making a run for the Stanley Cup, playoff beards sprouts up all over the ice. The general thought is that it's unlucky to shave in the middle of the playoffs. Why? Because it's believed that it could cause your team to be suddenly struck with a bit of bad luck, and this will ruin the hope of any championship. Tough, right? Well, you should know that this superstition is crossing into different sports, including baseball, American football, and actual football or soccer. But why do pro athletes tend to be superstitious? According to the professor of psychiatry for Georgetown University, Dr. Judith Cooper-Smith, lead athletes experience a combination of excitement and nerves at most competitions. How to meet the challenge requires another kind of preparation, which is mental focus and concentration. Preparation may be different for each athlete, but usually includes some form of ritual. She adds that this may be based on superstition or the athlete's personal experience. The professor indicates that some athletes review their routine by visualizing it. Some mark the steps with their hands. They may incorporate a mantra or carry a small object hidden in their costume. Common staged superstitions, such as having to say, quote, break a leg, may be part of the athlete's preparation prior to performing. But the most important, according to the professor, is the meaning the athlete attaches to their ritual. Do you know any superstitious hockey stars? Well, there's one here, and you know him, Briere. The 5'9" Quebec native had an illustrious 17-year career in pro hockey that ended in 2015. Briere had a weird superstition when it came to his hockey sticks though. Unlike most pros who generally continue using the same stick during a hit streak, Briere would actually stop using the stick if he played particularly well with it. This is how he thought of it. The stick deserves a little rest after all its hard work. After a brief day or two, he would consider his stick well rested and ready to get back to action. Of course, it's not just Briere that is being superstitious. Even beyond hockey, there are a number of superstitious athletes, and one of them is Serena Williams. Serena Williams is easily one of the greatest female tennis players to have ever lived. Her 23 Grand Slams are already a ridiculous feat, and she even won her last one while she was 8 weeks pregnant. Her dominance on the court is unquestionable, but it comes with a weird superstition. Williams has stated that when she gets on a roll in a tournament, she sticks with the same pair of socks for the whole tournament. And you know, a major tournament like Wimbledon could run for 2 weeks. So that is a long time between breaking out a fresh pair of socks. You bet there's always staff around to deal with that. Another well-known sports figure that is quite superstitious is the golf icon Tiger Woods. Before he became a tabloid celebrity, it was a known fact that he was the most feared guy in the history of golfing. One thing that has been consistent with Woods is his trademark red shirt on Sundays. When he was asked about this in an interview, he claimed his mother told him that wearing red would cause the powers to be at their peak. Not like it would work for anyone else anyways. Baseball has a bizarre superstitious tradition. Accomplishing a no-hitter is indeed a rare feat, so there's this long-standing tradition in baseball. When a pitcher is in the mix of a no-hitter, everyone basically leaves him alone. He will sit alone in a dugout between innings, and no teammate will even look in his direction. Even the fans and broadcasters are generally banned from uttering the words no-hitter in case they jinx the whole thing. Ever heard of John Henderson? Henderson was a 6'7" defensive beast. The towering giant was all of 335 pounds of sheer power and grit. Before every game of his career, he would ask or demand an assistant trainer give him a heavy slap across his face. He claimed that the sudden jolt of adrenaline provided by the slap gave him everything he needed to get psyched up for the game. But hockey goalies are always tapping the butt end of their stick on the post or wiping the post before the game, and other strange superstitious behavior. Why is that? Well, let's take a look at the 3 stages here: the pre-game, in-game, and post-game. Before the game, goalies get into the rink super early. Some eat the same kind of foods before every game, or even listen to the same kind of music on the way to the rink. These might seem a little strange or superstitious, Okay, more than a little, but what most people don't understand is that they do these things for a purpose, whatever that might be. Goalies get to the rink early because they like to take their time getting dressed, and honestly, it does take goalies much longer to get dressed than the skaters waltz in. Some listen to the same music because it would put them in the right frame of mind to play hockey. But one of the biggest things that sets goalies apart from other skaters is that goalies inherently understand the importance of mental toughness and preparation. Athletes all want to be in that zone while playing their sport, but as goalies, there is a lot more pressure to perform immediately whether they're aware of it or not. So they have to make mental preparations before they step out on the ice because you don't want to be caught napping when the puck drops. It's fundamentally different from the way that other players approach the game because any mistake they make could potentially result in a goal. What about the stuff that happens in-game? The reason a goalie would tap the butt end of the stick on his post is to give him a sense of his positioning in relation to the net, like a blind person using a cane, so they can maintain that visual attachment to the puck. This means that at times, it's not just the best idea to turn your head to see where you're in relation to the net, and that is where things like tapping your posts come into play. What about the water bottle routine after a goal is scored against them? Goalies really need to have a short-term memory so that they can reset and be ready to stop the next shot. That's why. So some of these in-game quirks really have a purpose. On the post-game weirdness, what a lot of skaters and audience at large don't understand is that goalies see and recollect the game differently. They are always on the ice for the entire game, so goalies are constantly watching what's happening. Because they are located at one end of the rink, they also see things from a different perspective. While a goalie will always keep an eye on the puck, he has to be aware of everybody's positioning in relation to that puck, looking out for openings and coverings. Compounded, goalies have to process so much more information. Imagine you're a forward. The players you're trying to beat are primarily the defense and the goalie, but from a goalie's perspective, they need to be aware of every forward and every defenseman, trying to keep track of people's handedness, their tendencies, what their moves are, which defensemen have a big shot, which ones are going to pass all the time, and so for the goalie it's quite different processing all of this information. So the superstitions help the goalies cope. What other ways do they employ as a coping mechanism? It varies guy to guy and depends on maybe how intense they are. Minnesota Wild goalie Devin Dubnyk said, "For me, I guess it depends on what just transpired in the game. If a play happened and maybe I don't get scored on that play, but I know I was vulnerable because of something I didn't do properly, you just kind of talk yourself through it. Like, hey, you've got to get those feet set. You've got to get your shoulder turned. Don't go down early. Or maybe stay on your feet on this push. Don't slide into it. Even if it didn't cost you, I always know." Now you know why goalies are superstitious. Don't jinx it! Thank you for watching this video. What other weird superstitions from pro athletes do you know about? Let us know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you on the next one. Until then, bye!